Streaming cyberspace into your place from Sebring International Raceway. It's the Virtual Rift Network's second round coverage of Formula Neagle's 36th season, sanctioned by the Absolute Beginner League. A warm Floridian hello and welcome on this Easter Sunday, March 31st, 2024. Zach Shaggy Chapman joins yours truly, Bill Soups on high up in the VGN broadcast booth to bring you our World's Eye View replay. Ryan Seneker, turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. All right, Sebring is the second stop on the schedule, and with the opening round being a doubleheader, today's race is, in effect, round 3. Shaggy, Sebring's well known to most race fans. What are your thoughts about this place?
Well, right now, if we hop on board with David Burns, he's going through Sunset Bend. This is going to be the final right-hand sweeper coming up. Right here is going to be the start-finish line. We're going to see a lot of passes made here going to that extra bonus point. I assume you're going to get a lot of draft going down that long straightaway. And as you dive off in here, you're going to want to go out wide, get as close to that inside wall as you can. You really want to keep the speed up and pick the throttle up early. Going through here, you just want to be a little easy. Get on the brakes, make sure the rear end doesn't come out from underneath you. As you see, Burns almost loses it a little bit. Slowly back in it, right back on it, and this is another high speed, full throttle the whole way out, coming down in here to the hairpin. This is where you're going to see people try to outbrake. It may go bad for a couple people. There's a big runoff area, so if you think, you're going to miss, you got plenty of room to go out wide and avoid, but we're going to see plenty of aggression here. And that's, going through this track. You got a couple S's coming up through here, going through the Fangio chicane. Coming up into the Cunningham corner is going to be another right-hander, but we're not going to see a whole lot of passing through here, barring some mistake. I think we're going to see it kept to the long straightaways and maybe the hairpin corner.
Of course, Sebring has more bumps than Tony Montana's coffee table. Let's quickly look at today's format. We're racing the F1A, F1 cars. Their series, this is round 2, race 3. Today's format, well, it's not a doubleheader. It's a single race, 40 minutes, okay? Which means we're going to have pit stops. Yes, it's a 50% restricted fuel cell, so they will have to stop for fuel at least once. Setup is open. Teams, well, we have 2 drivers for the teams. We'll talk more about that as the season goes on. And qualifying, it's open qualifying, and that's going on right now as we speak. Let's quickly take a look at we'll take a look at the points real quick. Let's find those up there. We've only had 2 races, really. The doubleheader that we had before. You can see that Marcus Beifeld is up there on top. Now, Philip Hammer's not here today, so that's going to drop him well down the points. There are no drop races in this one. Hofladezen, Podolchek, and Burns. Let's look at some of the drivers that are out there right now. Let's start with Beifeld. Talk a little bit about that. He's in that tie with Hammer. Now, they're deadlocked now. Hammer, of course, is not here. Beifeld won the first race at the Red Bull Ring, beating Hammer, and then Hammer returned the favor in the second round. Let's talk about Mikhail Hofladezen and Wojciech Podolchek. How about we look at Hofladezen first? Now, Hofladezen has a third and a sixth last time out. We look at Wojciech Podolchek. He has a third and a fifth. So you're asking me, Soup, why are they tied? Well, there's a bonus point for leading a race, and that's where Hofladezen picked up that one. Another guy to watch is David Third Degree Burns. He sits 5th in the points. His best outing last time was a 4th in the second round in the second heat. He sits in 5th position, but he's always going to be fast. He's out there qualifying right now. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can look at somebody. Shaggy, who would you like to take an eye on there going around the track? Who would you like to watch?
Well, I'm anxious to see Wojciech Podolchek right now. While you were talking, he got a little loose there going in before the hairpin. That hard speed right-hander. He got a little sideways. He's given all that he can. I wonder if he's going to have to go in and maybe change these tires for one last burst, or if he thinks he can keep these good for one final run.
Now, if we look at the 2 drivers that are racing right next to each other, it is Podolchek and Neptune. Now, I think we decided that Neptune was I'm not sure if they're teammates, but they do have 2-car teammates, and it wouldn't surprise me. Those guys are veterans if they weren't teammates, but I can't really see on their paint scheme if they are or not. But what that goes to tell you is if you can find a teammate, you can lock in behind them and pick up a draft. This is open qualifying, so drafting is encouraged.
Yeah, Podolchek and Sauer teammates, though, from what I'm looking at the things. So
there you
definitely,
go.
I wouldn't think he's giving him any help right now.
No.
He's going to make him work for it.
Qualifying going to be very important here. There is no bonus point for that, but there is bonus points we talked about for leading a lap and for fastest lap. Glad you are with us. Okay, now this is going to get a bit confusing this season. They're calling it round number 2. Your commentators are going to call it race 3 because the doubleheader that opened the series, they have the same amount of points. A 20-minute race gives you the same points as one of these 40-minute endurance races. They're calling them endurance races because they have the pit stop involved in there. Honestly, Shaggy and I were talking before we went live that with the pit stop, there's a little more strategy, isn't there, Shaggy?
Yeah, there really is. You know, you can't get caught out there by yourself, especially in these things. If a group of 4, you know, let's say 2nd through 5th, are running behind the leader, and there may be teammates, you know, or know each other real well. They all message each other, decide to dive off by themselves. That guy out front, man, he's in big trouble. He needs to pit immediately the next lapper. He's going to lose that draft. And back to, you know, talking about the 2 different race styles, I really love how this league does this because to do both of these, it takes 2 different types of drivers. So if you want to win these points, it really shows your skill as an ultimate driver. You got to be able to go get it in a short 20-minute segment, and you got to be able to save your stuff for 45 minutes.
We look along there as we are. Not sure what. Well, we're on Bambi out there. Neil Bamber in the number 45, sitting 10th in qualifying right now. Now, one of the things you'll have to watch out for when it comes to pitting, if you do pull off early, you can think that maybe the guys are holding you up in front. You may come in for I guess would be the undercut. I like to call it the early peel, late reveal. The peel off into pit lane, and what's revealed later, whoa, he's out in front. But it all depends where you come out of pit lane. If you're going to do that, you can come out into traffic. And with a large field today, we got 25 drivers here. You do an early pit stop, there's a chance you're going to come out behind some of the back markers and have to work your way around.
Yeah, there is. You know, no spotter to help you like an F1 to let you know when you're in that gap to come out into an opening. So you really got to know the track and study your gaps and look behind you in the standings to know when you can come out safely. And another thing about this track, which is, you know, it kind of reminds me of Monza. Real quick pit road coming off, and they're carrying a lot of speed. So that person, if you peel off and you're pitting behind someone, you better trust that they know their braking point and don't brake real early, or that could ruin a lot of guys' day.
Couple of drivers I want to talk about that we didn't see in the opening round. Let's look at the number 80. He's 2nd fastest in qualifying right now. It's Christian Hengst. You look at the time, he is just 0.2 of a second off of Beifeld. So it looks like he's somebody to keep an eye on. Another driver that I'm familiar with because he's been in the league for a while, the 217 of Fabian Youngbluth. He's sitting 6th fastest right now. He missed the opening round as well. Let's take a look at car number 81, Michael Hofladezen. Hofladezen is quick. He sits well up in the points. He's in the pit lane right now. Reason we bring up Hofladezen, he was involved with the Roland Estonian, Errol Num, many-time champion. The Roland Estonian is not here today. Not sure if that's because of protest or perhaps it is Easter all around the world. Happy Easter, everybody.
What's everybody? All right, it's your last day on Earth. What's your go-to Easter meal, Soup?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would think all you could eat, because that way I could just continue eating and I would never die. I would just, I'm not done yet. I'm not done. Still on my meal.
I knew I liked you.
Kind of like a food filibuster. Glad everyone's watching, and some of us are watching on the YouTube channel. Christian Hengst has a lot of fans out there. We give them a cheer. If you are a Christian Hengst fan, number 90, tell us what country he's from. We were looking at the flag on his by his name, and looks like he's like in that Germany kind of Switzerland type group on iRacing. Would like to know exactly where he hails from. We know that David Burns is from the UK. Podocek is a Polish driver. Michael Hofladezen, you see the yellow cross there of the Switzerland or of the Sweden flavor. Looks like a fellow countryman for him also is Marcus Beifeld. Qualifying still going on. Nice field here today at 25, 24. 24 drivers have put in qualifying times. Let me correct myself. There are 26 names out there. Eric Blixt has yet to take the track in the 47. He's a veteran of the ABL. Come on, Eric. Standing start here today, so as soon as qualifying is done, Shaggy and I are going to hustle through the field. We're going to take them 2 at a time because VGN pays a commentator's bonus if we can get through all 25 drivers before they throw the green flag. Oh, and all the Arnold Schwarzenegger fans out there are also Christian Eng's fans, as he is hailing from Austria. I took a vacation to Austria. Oh, my goodness. The hills were alive with the sound of music. Beautiful place. I see the checker flag a-waving. Qualifying. Now, I believe they let them finish. There's still time left. I believe that they get to actually finish their hot lap. This is in contrast to what they do on the heat races, where I think you actually got to get it in time. Today, nobody out there running right now. Wow, how about that? Shaggy, everybody comfortable with their time?
Yeah, Neptune's out there right now. He's going through Sunset Bend right now, and I'm paying attention to his sectors. He did set a couple personal bests, so he might be able to improve from this 9th place here as he gets the checkered flag, but we'll have to see.
Coming across the line, he was sitting in 9th. That looks like that's where he's going to stay. So it's good to see the Trident with us here today. Frederick Neptune, he raced in the opening round in his familiar number 666.
On Easter Sunday.
Yeah, you know, that's got to make you worry a little bit. All right, I think, nope, we can't quite go to the grid yet. We have to wait for it to come up. Let's take a look at some other guys. Edgar Sanchinelli in the 57. He's sitting in 14th position. U.S. driver.
It looks like the furthest American is going to be Joan Sanchez, P11, it looks like right now.
Tip the hat to number 66. He's 1/6 less than Neptune. And that is Kenneth Estep. He is our slowest qualifier. We're going to keep an eye on him. He's sitting back there in 24th. Perfectly poised for the Hard Charger Award. And in my religion, you can only win the Hard Charger Award if indeed you put in a qualifying time. So Ryan Campbell, Marcus Simon, you out there? You think you're going to get Hard Charger? If you didn't put in a time, you don't get it. Okay, we can go to the grid right now, I think, as it changed over. Call this up for you. On the front row, it's going to be Marcus Beifeld, your point leader. He's going to be inside of the Austrian, Christian Eng's. Shaggy?
Inside of row number 2 is going to be David Burns in the 125. Outside is going to be the 28 car of Wojtek Podacek.
Okay, making his season debut. I'm sorry, Mikael Hoflade's on the fix, making his season debut. Fabian Youngbluth.
Inside of row number 4 are going to be Ludwig Sauer in the number 14. And in the 007, James Bond, Gregory Nutley.
The Trident, Frederick Neptune, and he's going to be inside of Vincent Breen.
Inside of row number 6 is going to be Joan Sanchez. Outside, Neil Bamber in the 45.
When the makers of the spot is Bastian Hausman. Flanking him, Edgar Sanchinelli.
15 is going to be Christopher Euros Jr., and outside of him is going to be Daniel Salo.
Klaus Loudon and Enrique Rivera go 17th and 18th.
Christian Gruley is going to be 19th, and 20th is going to be Stefan Malie-Smee.
Hidden Blackjack is Mike Neekum. Lucas Peterson in the double duck spot.
Joel Blomberg going to be 23rd. Outside him going to be Ken Eastep in the 66.
And the 3 drivers that did not put in time, Ryan Campbell, Marcus Simon, and Eric Blix. Let's go ahead and see. Campbell is actually out there. No Hard Charger Award for you because it's against my religion, as is Marcus Simon. They did not put in qualifying time. Eric Blix looks like he's not going to take the grid. We're going to have 26 drivers here today. Glad you are with us. It is the second stop, race number 3 in the 36th season of Formula Neagle. Long noted for racing on the Skippies. They've upped it to a little more horsepower, a little more downforce. And they thought that might change up some of the names we see up front. Well, Marcus Beifeld has been fast. No, what you put him in? You put him in a child's little, like a walker. What do they call those things they put babies in? A little baby carriage. He'd be fast on that thing too.
Some people just know how to get it going.
You can hear the engine start to rev, so you know what to do. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows, because the horses are out of the barn. And it is indeed the Swiss driver. Let's get the countries right. He's from Sweden. Marcus Beifeld reads the stampede down into the first corner. Christian Heinz right behind him, running at your top 5. How about Potocek? He's making a look to get on Burns. He gets around Burns right now. So Burns falls back a little bit.
Yeah, Burns doing the smart thing probably with cold tires, just taking it easy there that first lap. Knows he just can't let the leaders get away, but you don't want to wreck on lap 1.
Round out your top 5 real quick as they race. Beifeld, Hengst, Hofladezen in second, Potocek, Youngblood. We look for Burns. Burns has fallen well back now, racing in 6th, but holy moly. They get through that corner that my partner was talking about at the end of the straight. I'm watching them all go through. 25 cars in, 25 cars out. Congratulations. Look at that low angle as they come through. Everybody's still racing clean. All this going on behind Beifeld. Beifeld looks strong.
Yeah, Hengst is doing the right thing, though. He's keeping the gap at about half a second. You don't want to get too close to these things, or, you take the downforce off, you'll really beat up your front tires. So he's got to do a smart job of maintaining the gap if he doesn't want to pass and not let him get too far ahead.
The big news, I guess, would be Mikkel Hofladezen started inside of row 3. He's now moved up into the 3rd position. Potocek racing in 4th. That's right where he gridded. Youngblood has picked up a spot. That's courtesy of David Burns, who started in 3rd, racing in 6th right now. But we talked about it, Shaggy. It's all about the draft. Let's see how far the draft goes back. I'm a little worried that maybe the front 3 guys are going to be able to pull away. Youngblood seems to really be struggling maybe to stay up with the guys.
Yeah, it does seem like right now it's almost looking like a 3-car gap. Wotek's trying his best to pull those other guys along and keep it 4, but man, I don't know. Michael's in that iffy zone. He needs to get up there and make sure those other guys can't pull his draft, because he can make it a 3-car race real fast.
And we have a little spin there. It looks like it might have involved the Trident Frederick Neptune. He got loose right in front of Gregory Nutley. Maybe we have time to take a look at this as the action is a little bit slow. This is not Nutley's fault. Nutley was just following it, and then Neptune got loose right in front of it. Yao Sanchez does a great job of avoiding incidents there, and Sanchez finds himself started in 11th. Let's look at him. He's currently in 8th position, I think. Nice run from him, if my timing is correct. Nice run from Sanchez.
Yeah, great job on avoiding the contact. He might be asking that spotter is for a new pair of underwear, though, when he comes in and makes that pit stop.
Okay, let's tell you what's going on up front. It is a 3-car pull-away. Beifeld, Hengst, and Hofladezen. Now look at this. I think Potocek realizes that he's got to get going. There's this battle for 4th. That is Potocek in the lead position right now. Youngblood trying to get going. Both of those guys have got to pick up the pace. I got to think that the guy falling behind, which is Burns, has got to say, you guys need to decide who's going to lead, and let's see if we can put down some times, because the front 3 are getting away.
Yeah, they've been battling for the last couple laps. Burns is probably regretting taking it so easy, like you said on that first lap. Let those guys by, because now he's got to deal with this.
We're going to look at this 4-car battle for 3rd position. The fastest driver might be the caboose of this 4-car train, Ludwig Sauer. Sauer back there seems to have no trouble staying with these guys. The problem is these 4 need to figure out which one of them is the fastest and get to the front. Burns says, I think maybe I am the fastest. So he's making a move now around Youngblood, and he moves up into 5th position. Is it a twofer? He had visions of maybe making a run on Burns. Okay, through Sunset. I don't know where the apex is here. It's somewhere. They come 3 wide out of that corner. Shaggy, we talked about it. Man, there's a lot of ways to race that one.
Yeah, that was a different apex for all 3 of them, as you see the stand out there. They all had it different. It all worked out pretty successfully for them. They all got pretty good speed through there. But now Burns just needs to line up behind Wojciech and hope that they can catch those guys. This race can be over early.
There's a little more bumping and banging back there. So far, it's been a pretty clean race. Let's talk about car number 36, Christian Garros. He's up 4 spots. He's in a battle right now. He's trying to see if he can pick up one on the veteran Vincent Breen. This is a battle for
pass for the lead.
Oh, we got to pass. Let's go there. It wasn't. I thought maybe it might be a surrender. Now, there's a couple things going on. Hanks may want that bonus point for leading a lap, but of course he missed the opening round, so I don't really think he's actually in the championship hunt right now. This may be a thing of maybe Beifeld doing all the work, burning up the most fuel. Shaggy, they start with the same amount of fuel. That doesn't mean they burn the same amount of fuel.
No, you're that second car in line. Well, right now, if you're halfway days and you're getting the best pool, that third car in line, getting all that wake up for you. So you don't have to be in the throttle full, at the end of the straightaway. They're just carrying like 7/8 throttle, saving that gas, and they still get all that speed from the car in front of them from breaking the wake.
I think that the memo is out. I would expect those guys, even though they look close right now, those are both veterans. They both know how to drive. They may swap positions, but it may not be as climactic as you might think. It just might be a little bit of a... Actually, when you leapfrog, Ricky, you probably put in a faster lap time, and I think that could be going on as well.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. If they rotate it correctly down these long straightaways, they'll actually get faster lap times, like you said. It's a tough balance, but if they're both good, they race together a lot. They know what to do.
Beifeld now moves back out into the lead. Let's check back in the battle back there for fourth position. Right now it is Potocek. Look at Potocek move to the outside a little bit. Burns looking to make a move. He might want to do it. Following along in there is Youngblood. The fourth car in that train, the caboose, the whole time has been Ludwig Sauer. So we look at those four cars. Let's go back to the guy. He's all by himself. Car number 16. This is Yaun Sanchez. We saw him avoid the incident that included a Neptune. Well, he's got himself a big gap to the guys in front and a big gap to the guys below. Let's drop back to a three-car battle a little farther back. This is Garros, Bamber, and Houseman. Oh, let's throw in a few more guys too. Sancinelli in the mix as well as Loudon is watching on. That's a nice five-car battle led by Garros. And there's actually, you see the little battle there back behind the Garros there, as that was Bamber. Bambi able to pick up a spot around Houseman. We expect pit stops somewhere around the midway point. You look at the time on screen right now, tells you the laps. We've only been racing for 7 minutes and 31 seconds, so we're not quite there yet. Somewhere around 20 minutes is where we're going to expect pit stops.
Yeah, and like you were talking about earlier, the big story there is going to be those guys up front, like in that second group. Are they going to try to short pit a little bit to try to get the advantage in new tires and hope that they can make it up on lap time to make up that draft? Because right now, those front three, their lap times are in the 2:03s, and everybody else 2:04s, 2:05. So they got to figure something out quick.
The best racing on the track is indeed the battle for fourth position, which is happening right now. Moving to the inside is Burns. I think Burns is burning right now, realizing that the slower he goes, the farther away those front three again. Look at what Sunset can do. Hello, here comes Youngblood. We talked about that exciting corner. Coming into it, he was third in line. He loses a little momentum because he took the tight exit. Burns gets to roll the top side, so he gets it back. This is not over. How about another country in the mix? Here comes Ludwig Sauer to the inside. Come on, boys, be careful through corner number one. They get it sorted out. Sauer made his nose in there. They're still battling in front of it. Let's ride on board with Sauer and take a look at this up front because my spidey senses are stingling. Roll in the top side is Youngblood, and he gets, but he drifts a little bit wide, loses momentum as Potocek. Now they get it sorted out. Woo, what a view that Ludwig Sauer had there.
Yeah, I don't think he's done yet, though. He got a good run coming out of this corner. He might think about making a dive here as he's looking.
Yeah, you know what he's thinking? He's got to get going because what's been happening, all that nonsense, all that horseplay that was going on behind them, that has allowed Third Degree to start pulling away. I don't know if he has the pace to run down Hofladates, and Hofladates up by about 3.5 seconds. Oh, my goodness. That's basically from like France to pick a country there. Poland, 3.5 seconds in a Formula Neagle event.
Yeah, that's a lifetime. Hofladates, and right now he's playing. He's dancing with the devil. He's letting that gap get to a second. I think he's starting to lose these guys a little bit. He needs to pick it up and make sure he stays with them.
So you may be wondering about tires. Here's what I found out from interviewing the drivers. The tire changes. We look at that battle a little farther back. Man, that is exciting. That's the battle for now. What would be a fourth position, I believe. Fifth position, yes, because Burns is ahead of him now. It takes too long to change tires, and it takes too long for the tires to come in. So they're just going to come in and get enough fuel to get to the end. Now here we go. Hey, let's go up front. We got a pass for the lead again. Again, I'm going to tell you this is a bit of a yawn pass. They do it through Sunset. And again, this is just two guys that are working together. Yes, they are close, but they are in total. Look at that. That's Hank stuff in front with Byfeld right behind. And the more they battle, Hofladay's on us up there. He's on the microphone right now, coming over the air to Hanks and Byfeld. He's telling Hanks that Byfeld, look at he's telling Byfeld that Hanks thinks his sister is ugly, and then he's talking to Hanks and saying, or Byfeld, and telling Hanks thinks, you're too slow. He's hoping that they'll go at it and maybe let Hofladays get back in the mix.
There's a good chance of that happening. These guys are close, and yeah, they're being patient now because they're smart drivers. They know they saw the pit stop.
Yeah, look at this camera. Then you look up at the top of the screen. That's Burns, and then the other guys that are so far back. I love that where we can pan back. There goes Burns, and then the other three guys that are battering. Right now, I think it's Youngbluth and Potocek, and then Sauer, if I have that right. Yes. Let me make sure I had that order right. It is Potocek, Youngbluth, and Sauer.
Yeah, Burns last time around, he was able to run his fastest lap of the race at 2:04.02, but still not able to touch those 2:03s without some draft. So he needs these leaders to start mixing it up. But like you said, Hangst and Byfeld, I think they're a little too smart to do that right now.
Hey, you pick yourself up 7 positions. You get a little screen time from VGN. Car number 54, racing in 13th spot. This is Stefan Milas. Nice race from him. And you know what? He's got a smorgasbord in front of him there. He is not done. He's working on Vincent Bream and Edgar Sancinelli. Sancinelli and Bream are veterans back to this one, but I think maybe the fastest all of them might be Stefan Milas, because he's come a long way. Let's talk about the guys in front. Bream was in 10th. He's dropped to 12th. Sancinelli was 14th to 11th, so he's going in the right direction. Let's stay on this for a little bit. Nice paint scheme. Can we go back and look at Milas there? He's got that nice, almost looks like sun rays on that car. Sharp looking car. Love that low angle camera shot that our director has found. Man, here they come at you. Zoomed lens. Seems like they're standing still. Milas looks to the outside, but nothing there. They go underneath. Oh, somebody missed the apex. Oh my goodness, and Milas going to pick that one of Vincent Bream. That's not where the racing line is. Vincent Bream says, I've had enough of this. We got our first stopper. In fact, we got him coming in. Look at what has happened. I believe possibly second place is pitted as well. Nope, that is not true. I had my timing and scoring show me that he did, but he's still out there. Nope. That's what happens when you rely on technology and not what your eyes are telling you. So if I scroll through, if I dare trust my timing and scoring, looking at this battle right now between here we go. This is Youngbluth and Sauer. Now these guys have lost touch with Potocek and Burns. This is a battle for 7th. Battle for, yes, 6th position.
Yeah, Sauer's going to have to look to defend here real hard because he's right out of that draft range. But maybe the smarter race move to let Youngbluth get a pull on him, go by him on the straightaway and just redraft and almost do what the front two are doing. That way you can try to catch these guys a little bit. But there, Sauer overran the S's, and that's going to slow this guy's down.
Going to take you back to a guy we've been watching, car number 16, Yal Sanchez. He was racing by himself a while. We remember checked on him. It was all by himself. Well, now he's got Christian Garrels right in front of him. He's going to run him down here. Garrels started in 15th position, racing in 9th. Sanchez started in 11th, racing in 8th. You know, and if I look at my timing and scoring, I believe that maybe Garrels has made the pass on Sanchez. So they're just swapping positions back. Garrels was... Sanchez was indeed ahead at the timing of scoring last time around. They're not done yet. Now he ducks to the inside. And they're going to go too wide through one. They got to get this sorted out or it's going to cost them some time. Neil Bamber watching from about 20 car lanes back, hoping that they slow down, see if he can get in that mix as well.
We finally had a lap in the 202s. Last time Byfeld ran the fastest lap of the race, 202.9. So he's just getting quicker here as the fuel load gets lighter.
Our top 16 drivers have not pitted, and honestly, I don't think we're in the window yet if you were going to make a stop. I think we need to go a little bit farther, then we're going to expect the action to pick up a bit. Byfeld, Hanks, they've been swapping positions. Looking at another battle on track, and we are watching. That is Giros in the battle there with Sanchez. Giros out in front. They might be doing a little leapfrogging, see if maybe they can run down the two guys in front of them. Let's look at that battle. This is Potacek ahead of Youngbluth. That is Sauer ahead of Youngbluth. Let me correct myself. Sauer in that beautiful blue and yellow machine. Youngbluth chasing them. Let's jump up one more spot. We'll see what's going on with Potacek. He's all by himself racing with Burns now. So those two guys. So what you really have, other than Mikael Hofladeson, which has really kind of lost touch with anybody, you got a two-car battle with Byfeld and Hanks, Hofladeson by himself. You got Burns and Potacek together. You got Sauer and Youngbluth together. You got Garros and Sanchez racing together. Let's look at Bamber, number 45. Back there in 10th, all by himself. He's got about a second to get up to Sanchez. He's got a ton of time back to Daniel Solo. Let's look at Solo in 11th. He is not solo. He is racing with somebody right now. Chris Loudon. Loudon up 5 spots. The same for Solo. Solo started in the 16th, racing in 11th, and Loudon has followed him right through the field, 17th to 12th. Glad you are with us here. Absolute Beginner League on the Virtual Grip Network. Formula Neagle. They've been around a long time, 36 seasons. Their seasons are short. Nevertheless, an impressive performance by this series.
Short and sweet. That's what keeps them coming back.
Well, it does, because, you know, you do like a 17 or 18 car. NASCAR should take a page out of the ABL's system.
Yeah, sometimes it just draws out too long, and, you know, as well as I do, we're all real people. We have families, things come up, so it's really hard to stay dedicated to a long schedule like that.
Just to draw the conclusion, and I know this is a European, so let's draw the attention to Formula One, whose season is probably too long as well. You almost wish they almost had 2 seasons. But when it comes to sim racing, Shaggy, no drop races. So if you got yourself a 13 or 14-week season, you have to miss one because your sister's getting married, well, you know, the next 3 months are pointless. But here, it's real quick, it's done. Commit to a short 5 weeks, and if it doesn't work out for you, wipe the slate clean and try it again.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and like you say, your sister's getting married, you know, who cares? Use that season as a practice because, I mean, seat time in these things is so valuable. That's really what you're looking for. And when you're driving with good drivers like this, it's invaluable.
Indeed. Honestly, sister should check the sim racing schedule before she arranged her nuptials. All right. I love this onboard camera here. We're on with Wojciech Potacek. He's trying to run down Burns. The gap between Burns and Hofladeson, about 5 seconds. A bad pit stop can mean the difference here.
Well, yeah, and if Burns and Potacek stay nice to each other and stay lined up and they start swapping like the leaders do, they're going to chew that 5 seconds up in no time. So I imagine we're going to have a battle for the bottom step of the podium here before this thing's over.
So let's talk strategy for the leaders here. Because we got a 25-car field, I would have to think if I'm Byfeld, I've got to run the tank until it's about as empty as a syrup bottle on a pancake social. I think if I come in early, I risk the chance of getting caught up in back markers and letting Hanks get away. And if I think I'm Hanks, I got to try to stay with Byfield. Whatever Byfield does, I got to come in. I can't imagine they can afford to do something different unless one thinks they're really faster than the other guy.
Yeah, which we're seeing. It's not really. We're seeing two even cars. Maybe Byfield is a hair faster, but with that draft, Hanks is going to be a factor in this. He knows he's just got to be a lapdog right now. He's got to stay in his pocket.
Yeah, but now let's talk a different thing that could happen. If we look at Byfield, if we could scroll up on track to the very next car, they are coming up on a back marker battle here. Now, this is a battle between Milas. Are these actually for positions? They are indeed. This is for 20th spot. Let me correct myself. It looks like 24th. This is Milas and Nutley. Yeah, now I'm going to take a quick peek. My timing and scoring doesn't show if they've actually made their stop yet. But they have made their stop. So this could change what the leader could do. Now, if you're the man in second like Hanks, he may want to peel off early and make Byfield have to deal with these two guys who are battling. Let's stay here because this could be the determining factor of who gets the win.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of thoughts going through their mind here. As you see those guys in front too, they are battling hard for that spot. So I mean, leader ain't going to get this easy.
Now, Stefan Milas, remember we were watching him. He was making his way through the field, but he's taken his stop. Certainly, these guys have taken their stop because they know they were within the window now. So let's look. We're going to watch this battle here. Go ahead, Shaggy.
Yeah, Milas, I actually saw earlier too. He had to make his pit stop early. He had to tow. He had to wipe out going through the S's. He hit the tires with the rear end, so he lost all left rear tire. He had to tow.
So unfortunately for him, he may have another stop in his future. Okay, so now getting around him, there goes Nutley. It would be in the best. Look what Milas is doing. Oh, how about a sportsmanship award to that driver? Stefan Milas, when he goes to the Back Marker United meeting in his area, make sure that he gets one of the fresher donuts, the expensive coffee, and the comfy seat up front. My goodness, that was some great sportsmanship by Stefan Milas there.
Yeah, not only that, but he set himself up for this. As you see, he's following the leaders. He set himself up perfectly, left off the gas, got in the gas early, and now he can go back battling for that position.
Nutley does the same thing. Now, this is a little bit of bad etiquette I can't teach you how to race up front, but I can teach you how to be a good back marker. What happened there is Milas is like your kids and you're playing ball in the street and somebody yells car, everyone gets out of the way. And then when the car goes back, you come back out. Well, Milas took a break. Nutley let the leaders by. Well, when Nutley let the leaders by, he did it much slower, and Milas ends up picking up that position.
Yeah, genius, really. Let himself get out of the gas early, pick up the speed early in that sunset corner, that high speed right, and able to carry all that momentum right by.
Okay, with that said, I don't believe there's going to be much worry about lap traffic now. It's a little bit of a ways to go before they get up to Marcel Simon. We'll keep an eye on that. Again, it looks like as we take, are we able to bring up the cool graphic that shows pit stops? I guess it won't really matter right now because it really doesn't show anything as our top, 16 drivers have yet to make a stop. My timing and scoring is giving me a hard time. Okay. I'll go to our director. Who is the car leading of all the cars who have pitted as I talk to Ryan Seneker in my ear, hoping for something? Are you... Vincent Bream, there we go. That's the timing and scoring that I'm having issues with. So let's go ahead and put the camera on Vincent Bream. He is in 16th spot. The 15 cars in front of him all need to stop. Which includes, let's look at this battle we haven't talked much about. This is Lucas Peterson in car number 51 with Bastian Hausman. Again, both these guys are going to need to stop. So that's a position that Bream can vulture, assuming Bream has made his pit stop in the window. Again, I'm a little worried about some of these early stops, but I guess as I look at the timer, as we are well past the halfway mark, and here comes our first big name taker as Mikael Hofladeson is coming in. Racing in third, about 5 seconds ahead of Burns and Potocek before that stop. So all you little soldiers in Soup's clipboard army, get out your tools and write down Mikael Hofladeson +5 on Burns. We'll see how that shakes out when Burns and Potocek take their spots.
And Beifeld, too, last lap, he decided it was time to get going. He's got Hangst 1.1 seconds back. Hangst is going to have a tough time keeping that draft now.
Let's look at the leader right now as he got himself kind of tied up a little bit behind Kenneth Estep. He gets that done. Folks, if you're watching at home, you want to know when it's pit stop time. You can tell when the leaders start to really pick up the pace. It's always more advantageous to be first down pit lane than second down pit lane. And right now, Beifeld has said goodbye to Christian. See you later, boy, like you're a skater, boy, says Marcus Beifeld as he's hitting. My guess would be look for a pit stop this time by. You know, but the Austrian's no fool. He's really trying to stay with him as well. Would like to follow him down pit lane. Let's stay on the leaders and see what happens as they come around this time for pit entrance.
Yeah, Hanks owes Estep a Christmas present there.
Yeah.
That was the reason he kept that draft there. Beifeld definitely probably fuming a little bit, but hopefully he drives better when he's mad.
Down the long back straight, heading into Sunset. Now pit entry is right outside of Sunset, so this you got to be careful if you're Hanks. You don't want to be too close to the leader because he's maybe waving his hand saying, "I'm coming in." Do they come in? And they prove Soup to be an idiot. We'll go around one more time. Let's drop back to see if the other guys go in. No, they do not. Oh, I correct myself. I am not so much as an idiot. I'm only half an idiot. Burns and Potocek come in, as does Sauer. So here's what we're going to do.
Race off pit road.
Exactly. We're going to pick up Burns right now. Nothing more boring than watching somebody in pit lane. So what we want to do is pick up Hofladeson and see where he is on the track, because he's the guy. Hofladeson coming across the start-finish line right now. Burns still sitting there. Burns is rolling, but they blow it by. Hofladeson is going to reassume that position in front of Burns. And Shaggy, it looks like Burns gets out just in front of Potocek, so they go in pretty much in the same position they went in at. They come out as they went in.
Yeah, they got that gap down to about 3.5 seconds, though. If you remember, it was 5. So
there you go.
They know it's go time now. They see him, and goals in the pit in sight.
Let's turn our attention back up to the leader, because all of a sudden Hangst, who we thought was going to be left behind as a skater boy, no way. He's right on the back of Beifeld right now. Don't be surprised if Christian doesn't make the move around Marcus and try to be first down pit lane.
Yeah, if he can get a big run down this long straightaway, I think that's the move. Control the pit speed, and you're the guy in charge.
Now remember, out there right now, Hofladeson is running laps like he's on fire because he's trying to make up the time. These guys have, in theory, they have lighter fuel cells right now. They should be faster than the guys they're chasing. Here comes the pass down into Sunset. Again, it is a race to be first down pit lane. And my goodness, Hanks really played that one intelligently. I say that. Let's see if they actually follow up now and make the pit stop. They come out of Sunset. Pit entrance is right there. Hanks is way far to the left. No, he's not going to do it. Beifeld says, "I'm coming in." Oh, the plot thickens.
Yeah, I have a tough time believing Hanks didn't want to pit there. I think he maybe overdrove the corner a little bit. Now he's got to go one more.
What we're going to do is pick up Hofladeson. Hofladeson is through the back straightaway right now, heading down into Sunset. Beifeld is in his lane. Beifeld is rolling. I don't think Hofladeson is going to get there. Beifeld coming out pit exit right now. Hofladeson just coming across the line. Beifeld gets out first. There you go. Now Hanks has got to come in this time. We would think. Let's go to our leader because now he has some issues. He's got himself. Oh, no, we're okay. Sorry. Had a little bit of an issue there. Okay. Hanks all by himself right now, racing totally by himself. He's got to make the stop this time. 3/4 of the way through the field, through the race.
He's got that gap right at 24 seconds. It is going to be a close race off pit road.
Out there, of course, both these drivers from Europe, the land of nursery rhymes. If you know your fairy tales, you know about Cinderella. Well, she wanted to stay late at the ball. Right now, it's Christian Cinderella Hanks out there. Hopefully, the clock will not strike 12. Hopefully, his race car will not turn into a pumpkin. Coming out of Sunset, dips down. He's got to make sure he stays under the pit lane limit. And he goes. Cinderella has a curfew. Byfeld on the back straight. Shaggy heading to Sunset. It's going to be close.
Yeah, it is really going to be close. They're going to come out almost side by side, it seems like. Byfeld going to try to carry as much speed as he can here and hope that he can just scare Hanks into maybe lifting him and letting him go by. But Hanks is pulling off right now. It's going to be close.
He's got to get the momentum up. Hanks hit a spot perfectly. And here comes Byfeld. Byfeld will have the speed. Byfeld's going to get him. Now the question is, will Hanks be able to stay in the tow? Oh, look at the gap that Byfeld was able to put on.
Yeah, Hanks got a little aggressive on the throttle coming out of the pits, too. Stepped that right rear out, and that definitely didn't help him.
Byfeld's pit stop time, 4.8 seconds. Hanks, 4.4. Hanks, 4.8. But page 17 of the VGN Commentator's Handbook says put drama into the event whenever possible. You have to wonder, did Byfeld short fill? Did he put in enough fuel to get to the end? Certainly he knows just how much he needs.
Yeah, you do got to wonder that. And if he did and he hits the mark right, I mean, that's the winning move of the race. He was 5/10 slower in the pitch. You take off that 5/10, that's at 8/10. He'd be right in the draft. Indeed. But right now, Hanks has to work hard, man. He's got to go get this.
But there's more to worry about. Let's look at this battle from back markers right now. This is Marcus Simon. Simon pulls over right at the apex. That's one way to do it. Not the way we recommend doing it at the Back Markers United meeting, because that really hurt Byfeld's lap corner speed. And look, Hanks now. Look at Hanks trying to get around as well. He gets it done as he works underneath S-step.
Yeah, I had to return the favor for him, I guess. Cancel back out that draft, but it's now Hanks. It's his turn to be mad. Byfeld was hurt early. Now it's Hanks. He's got to go. Drive aggressive.
Okay, all you little soldiers in the Soup's Clipboard Army, let's go ahead and mark down what's going on. Our top five: Hanks, Byfeld, Hofladaisen, Burns, and Potacek. That's basically how they came in, how they were racing before the pit stop. Sauer out there in 6th position. Let's see if we can find ourselves a battle for position out on the track. Boy, they are pretty much separated, except for this battle for 4th between Potacek and Burns. And right now, I don't know how much battle it's going to be. These guys know each other. It really could be do we have enough to get to Hofladaisen? If they can work and team themselves up, in theory, Shaggy, Burns and Potacek should be faster than Hofladaisen by himself.
Yeah, you know theory doesn't always work in practice, though, and those guys are going hard. They're running about the same times as P3 right now, so they're pretty much know that they've got a battle for 4th. 3rd place is out of the picture unless Hofladaisen makes a mistake.
Well, let's talk about a possible mistake from Hofladaisen. Let's go to it right now, because he's coming up on the back of these guys that were interesting to get around. That's S-step. All right, that works okay. It is It is. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, it didn't hurt him as bad as it could have, him slowing down on the apex again. He did a great job of avoiding him and going out wide. He did a good job of reading the scenario there.
It is interesting. The cars have mass, and they have to be somewhere. We got a battle going on for 13th position. We have not heard much from this driver, number 27, Ryan Campbell. Started in 25th position. Is that dead last? Is now, let me see, make sure he put in a qualifying time. Campbell did not put in a qualifying time, so sorry. My religion, the pastors at my church say you cannot win Soup's Hard Charger Award. Nevertheless, you are in a battle with Edgar Sancinelli for what would be 14th position. Now here's a good battle. This is Brim in racing in 12th spot right now with Klaus Loudon trying to run him down. Brim started in 10th, has lost 2 spots. Loudon is up 4 spots. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and see what's going on with Burns up here in front. And let's go ahead and keep an eye on them. They race trying to run down Hofladason. Hofladason was able to get around. Pulling off on pit lane there. That's the back marker. That's Marcus Simon. He did it on the straight. Certainly did not slow Burns or Potocek down at all. With just about 4 minutes to go, Shaggy, I think you said it. I think Burns and Potocek are trying, but that's a tall order to get to the driver in third.
Now, yeah, I think Burns is just going to be kicking himself at the end of this one. It was a little too easy on lap 1, but you live and learn, and he'll have to learn from that mistake.
We ride on board with Potocek right now. You can see on the tower, Byfeld is really opening up the gap on Hanks. We don't need to go there right now. It was just a handful, under a second when they came out of pit lane, man. Once Byfeld was able to break the draft, he's really moving. He's putting down some time. Remember, there are bonus points for fastest lap. Wouldn't really matter to Hanks as he missed the first round. Byfeld in the championship hub would like to stretch his advantage as much as he could.
Yeah, looking good for him right now. We all know how easy it is to be that second car, and when you lose the draft, you want to drive in the corner slow in these things. It sounds like you're defeating racing, but the slower you go into the corner, the earlier you can pick up the throttle and get out of it. And when you're in second and you can see that leader and you're trying to run him down, you just want to drive in so hard, and it's so easy to be too aggressive.
Nice battle we're looking on there with, is that Garros and Sanchez is what we're looking at? Did I get that right? Oh, it's Bamber and Sanchez. Bamber trying to run down the number 16. How are these guys doing compared to where they started? Well, Sanchez started 11th, up 2 spots. Bamber started in 12th, up 2 spots. Basically, they follow each other through the field into pit lane and come out where they are. Let's see if Bamber can actually make this pass near the end. So all the things to watch for. Not much going up on front. Marcus Byfeld having it his own way. Christian Hanks looks like he's comfortable in second. Michael Hofladason in third. So we're going to assume that plays out that way. We're going to watch where the battle is right there. So they continue to work their way through Sunset, different exits. Drifting wide is Sanchez, Bamber right behind him. So the battles we'll watch as they come across the line when this race is over. We'll definitely check back in and watch Burns and Potocek come across to see who's going to get 4th position. Sauer looks comfortable in 6th. Youngblood comfortable in 7th. Garros is all by himself in 8th. And then Sanchez begins to open it up on Bambi. Let's look at car number 13, Daniel Solo, if we can. He's in 11th spot. And again, he is solo. Oh, he gets a little bit squiggly there.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Easy to do when you're driving by yourself. You know, it's hard to keep a rhythm. People think sometimes it's easier to just get a gap and drive by yourself, but man, you know, you may miss a braking point, you may zone out. When you're around a car, your senses are all in 10, and it's really easy to zone out when you're by yourself in wreck.
All right, let's look at car number 42. This is a battle for 16th position. Christian Garros with the Trident Frederick Neptune behind him. When they come across the line, we are not going to leave as the leaders come across. We'll stick with you, and we'll see how these battles play out, because I know we have fans all around the world, all around the globe. You might be a Bastian Hausman fan and saying, can Bastian catch these guys? Maybe get himself up to 16th? There you see it right there. That's Garros, Neptune, and the car at the top of your screen. Last one coming underneath you right now, Bastian Hausman. I've said it before, sometimes the racing is more exciting with the drivers a little farther back in the field because they don't quite have it figured out as much as the drivers up front. It's kind of like, would you like to watch a game of tic-tac-toe between 2 chess masters or between 2 3-year-olds? Well, it's going to be way more excited between 3 3-year-olds. Look at this battle. Hang on. Let's look at Garros now. And sure enough, the pass has been made. It's spin, and that goes around Frederick Neptune. Oh, he's out of orbit.
Yeah, they're on the white flag lap.
on the white flag lap. With that said, let's check in on our leader then as we watch Marcus Byfeld coming on the back half of the track, working his way through the beautiful green Florida countryside.
Yeah, his wife may call him and tell him to pick up some groceries on the way to victory lane. Pretty big lead.
Honey, bring some Florida oranges home if you could. He's got it all his own way. There is a car in front of him. That is Mike Nickum. He slows down, lets the leader go by. He knows the score. Heading down that long back straight. There it is right now. Now we get to the long back straight. Got there a little soon. Here it comes right here. Final right-hander on the gas. Nothing between him and the checker flag except for sunset.
No such thing as taking it easy for him, too. Look at him taking the limits coming out of that corner. He is going hard every lap.
I've talked to drivers in this situation. They race hard because they're afraid they're going to lose momentum through the final right-hander. Swinging through. Round number 2, race number 3, Formula Neagle. He wins his second race of the season, Marcus Byfeld. Hanks is comfortably going to get second, Hoffleday's a third. Let's look at Burns and Potacek. It looks like Burns has got the best of Potacek. That's not going to be a fight for position. Sauer comfortably in 6th. Let's scroll back and find somebody who's fighting. They all look separate. All right, let's go ahead and look at Sanchez. Sanchez with about a 5-6 car length lead on Bamber. Bambi looking for any kind of drive out of there. Nothing going on with that one. Let's go back to Bastian Hausmann. He indeed has caught up to Christian Gruel. Remember, there was a spin up there that took care of one of those drivers. So let's see if Hausmann can get there. He's in the tow. He's using his Flintstones feet. He's scooting up in the chair. He's 1 car length back. He's half a car length back. He ducks to the inside. He's into the inside. But can he get the car wound up as he works through sunset? Yes, he can, but look at the momentum coming behind. They're racing as if it's for the lead. Give 16th position to Bastian Hausmann, 17th to Christian Garros. 3 more cars to come across the line. Frederick Neptune, Lucas Peterson, Stefan Milos. We started with 25, 20 finish on the lead lap. What a great event here for Formula Neagle. We're going to take a short break. Don't go far because we'll come back to run down the entire order, talk to some of the drivers who wish to talk to us, and then put a lock on the gate. Don't go far. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network.
This is iRacing, the world's premier online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsport, virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in indoor series from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, the World of Outlaws, Aussie Supercars and more. Take on legendary circuits like Daytona, Silverstone and the Nürburgring. Join iRacing's global online racing community and get on track today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Sebring International Raceway and the second stop on the Formula Neagle schedule for BGN's Race 3 coverage of Season 36, sanctioned by who else? The Absolute Beginners League. You know, if you're interested in joining the Absolute Beginners League, if you're a newcomer, they welcome you, but don't be fooled by the name if you're a viewer. These guys are not beginners when they race at the top of the order, and let's tell you how they finished right now. 25 drivers took to the grid. We're going to run down the top 10, then Shaggy will get the last part of this. Marcus Byfield picks up his second win of the season and stretches his points lead on the rest of the field. Christian Hanks makes his series debut, or at least the season debut, coming in second place. You know, pit stops were the issue for him. Michael Hofladezen really had nothing for the two guys in front. Really best in class as he comes in third. David Burns and Vocek Potacek, they put on a nice battle after they left Ludwig Sauer behind. Sauer will have to settle for 6th. Christopher Garris, a quiet run through the field, 15th to 7th. That's what he likes to do. Fabian Youngbluth raced up front for a while, but wasn't able to stay there. He'll come home in 8th position. Yao Sanchez, a great run through the field, followed by Neil Bamber. They go from 11th to 9th and 12th to 10th, respectively. Shaggy?
Yeah, Daniel Solo up 5 spots from 16th to 11th there in the 13 car. Finishing 12th, Klaus Loden up 5 spots as well in the 665. Losing 3 spots and finishing 13th is going to be Vincent Brame. Tough race for him, but all in all, pretty good day, able to keep it on the track. Ryan Campbell, who didn't put in a qualifying time, up 11 spots, going to finish P14. Edgar Santinelli going to finish 15th. Bastian Hausman's going to finish 16th. Christian Gruhl is going to finish 17th. Frederick Neptune, a couple spin-outs today, but able to bring it home on the lead laps, going to finish 18th. Lucas Peterson's going to finish 19th. Stefan Malie, he had a little accident we talked about there, but able to bring it home in 20th. And Mike Neekham's going to finish 21st. Marcel Simon's going to finish 22nd. Ken Estep's going to finish 23rd. Joel Blumberg and Enrique Rivera round out the top 25. Finishing 26th going to be Gregory Nutley, and Eric Blix going to round out the field.
With that said, we're not able to talk to our race winner here today, which is very sad, but we are able to talk to the man who finished, I believe, in 3rd position. This is Mikael Hofladezen, so let's go ahead and bring him in. Mikael, it's soup. 3rd place is all that car had today.
Sadly, yes. Coming in with almost no practice. I'm only doing the practice pre-race, so just trying to learn the track as much as I can. I qualified 5th and got a good start. Couldn't really keep up with the guys in front after a few laps and a few mistakes. So had to settle for 3rd, but I'm still happy.
Without any practice, how do you figure out a pit stop and how much fuel you need? Do you have special timing and scoring that tells you, or you've been doing this long enough, you know what you need?
Yeah, I use a program called CAPS, so I get it all calculated out for me, so I'm too lazy to figure it out myself.
Okay, got it. I'm going to get you out of here on this one. All right, so Hammer wasn't here today. You are still in the points race. Does your personal schedule allow you to do the next 3 races? Are you in the championship hunt?
I think I can do the next 3 races. I'm basically looking at my schedule day to day, but looking at it, I think I'm able to do them all, and of course I'm hoping to do them all. It's really fun to be back in ABL. It's been such a long time. Yeah.
If memory serves, you do some real world racing, do you not? Or am I confused about that? It's been a long time, but I thought you did.
I did. I actually quit back in 2020 due to financial cost. I was trying to get into Swedish TCR, but they wanted about 300,000 euros a year, and that's money I did not want to spend, or could spend, so to say.
Oh, well, we're glad you're here. This is a little cheaper and it's fun to watch a race. Congratulations, man. Put on a good show.
Thank you so much. See you next time.
Mikael Hofladezen. All right. Shaggy, you want to talk to somebody? Who you got? Maybe Burns? Okay. David Burns, who finished in 4th?
Hey, David Burns, Shaggy up here in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yep, here you guys.
Well, dude, you had a heck of a battle in your hands there for the top 5. It seemed like you and Potacek were in each other's pocket the whole race. Talk to us a little about those battles.
Well, I'll talk to you about the start because I made my own battles. I don't know why, but I'm not used to the clutch bike point setting, so that's the first time trying to launch it, and I thought I'm going to get wheel spin. I got wheel spin. So I put myself a lot further back than I should have been.
David, it's soup. 3rd to 6th on the opening lap. That's not the way to do it, man.
Well, it makes a change from, first corner death, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying up here. I figured you were just taking it easy on those cold tires, but I'm sure you didn't expect Byfeld and Hanks to walk away like that so fast. Those two were kind of in their own group. But looking at lap times today, you were pretty quick. I think, maybe you're kicking yourself after that first lap. But if you go a little harder on that first lap, you definitely have times for P3. So you were quick today, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd have been able to hold on to Marcus and Christian because their lap time was a good half second ahead, and to be honest, Michael couldn't hold on to them. Mikey was about my pace, so I don't think I'd have been holding on to them anyway. So I'm quite happy with P4.
David, it's soup. I'm sorry, Shaggy, I interrupt again. What's more fun for you, David? Be honest. Do you like the 40 minutes with a pit stop, or do you like the sprint races?
I've got to be honest, I prefer the pit stops. I like that randomness that can sort of happen during a pit stop. So yeah, I prefer those to the heats.
Yeah, Shaggy and I up in the booth. Shaggy, you would agree, right?
Yeah, I definitely agree. As a driver out there, though, going from last week to this week, do you notice a difference in driving styles compared to the short sprint?
There's a lot more calculation. It's trickier in the F4. The Skippy was more, you really had to think about your fuel, whereas the F4 just fills so quickly. You don't get as much of a margin. The Skippy you could get, you could gain several seconds if you got it wrong. But yeah, the F4, it's not as big a margin a car, but you do notice a difference.
Well, good run, David, and I'm glad you stepped up here and talked to me here in my first race. Good, and I can't wait to be back and watch you guys race some more here.
Thanks, guys.
David Burns finishing fourth here today. We got one more. I'll take this one. The veteran Wojciech Potocek out of Poland. Let's dial him up. Nice battle with David Burns, Wojciech, but fifth was all that car could give you.
Yeah. I mean, it was a bit strange race as I had an atomic start on David, but then my laps were the opening laps were just terrible. I just think that the car balance with the full fuel was something that I haven't tested, and we lost contact with the front and just kept going our own pace.
Yeah, we talked about that. It was basically Hofladezen had a hard time staying with the two leaders, but then it was you, Burns, Sauer, and I believe Youngbluth was probably involved in that. You four guys, and ended up, I think that they couldn't stay with you. And it was just you and Burns that had the pace.
I mean, we could probably stay up together, but I think every one of us wanted to have some battle. So the battle between me and Fabian, it caused that David was in front of me. Then Ludwig started to fight with Fabian, and it just spread the field of this pack of RF4. And like you said, I tried to stay behind David for as long as possible. I think I was able to keep his pace, but I just made a mistake on the last lap when I thought I can attack him. And
gonna switch gears a bit on you here. You are in Poland right now, am I correct?
Yes.
So, on a world scale, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, how has life changed for you in Poland just with the conflict going on just next door? Does it make much difference?
I wouldn't say. Maybe we are just more aware of what's happening, and we're trying to help our neighbors in any possible way. So I don't want to say it's scary, but we keep our eyes open.
Yeah, we need to get that thing settled, don't we? We need to. It's long enough, wouldn't you say? Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. Both Shaggy and I enjoyed the sprint races. What's do you know offhand what is next when we come? Are we doing is it the sprint races or is it a endurance race?
I think the next one will be the sprint race, and we will meet at Zandvoort in F4. Before that, we will be at Road America in GT3 cars.
Got it. We'll see. We'll be there for both of them. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Wojciech Potocek there, racing in 5th position today. Okay, if you enjoyed today's broadcast, or even if you didn't, VGN will be back next week, April 7th, for the second stop for the ABL's Andy Morgan Cup. And you can see it right there. You just heard Wojciech talk about it. It's going to be in Road America. Oh, Shaggy, are you going to be with me for that one? You got to come to Road America.
Oh, of course. Nowhere I'd rather be.
All right. But wait a minute. There's more racing. Before that, Tuesday night, it's going to be oval racing for you Europeans. 4 corners, they're all left. That's going to be at Kansas Speedway, week 25, Tuesday night, April 2nd, 8:50 p.m. on the East Coast. You do the math if you're in Europe. Those up-and-coming broadcasts, this broadcast, all the past broadcasts, have been a production of the Virtual Grip Network. So as we reach to the hat rack to look for your Floridian straw boater, VGN wishes you happy Easter. And until next time, have fun storming the castle.